I'd like to think that we bring a real passion for finding the truth at the heart of a client and then using that to challenge culture in some way. So I think we've got a little bit of art, we've got a little bit of provocativeness, but it all comes from the core of what is true to a client, and hopefully that really gets the world's attention and gets people talking. It's got to be rooted in honesty and brutal honesty on both sides. You know, we've got to tell them what we really think the problem is and what they're really going to need to do to improve that, and they've got to tell us if our solution isn't going to work for them, and if we're not doing a good job. That sort of honesty and talking about the things that most people don't want to talk about is how you get to great marketing solutions. You've got to be kind of endlessly curious about everything, and you've got to be absolutely positive. I mean, it's a difficult business. In most creative types of creative pursuits, it's about your own personal expression, and you express it, and that's good enough. But you've got a lot of people involved in this process. You've got to stay endlessly positive, and you've got to have an incredible work ethic if you want to win and be the best. That's really at almost anything, but I would say this sort of insatiable curiosity and intelligence matched with extreme positivity and then a real work ethic. Creativity is the ability to solve a problem that no other skill set can solve. It's the ability to look at a problem and see a totally different way to solve it, I think. It's often creativity is, I say the shorthand is to do the opposite of what everybody else is doing. That's kind of a poor man's shorthand for creativity. But I think it's that willingness to see that something can be approached in a totally different way and being open to that and not being stuck in the conventions of the culture and problem-solving tactics that you live in and are immersed in. Culture is important for advertising, but what I would say is that sometimes we forget that culture wants to change. We think, oh, this is cool, and let's do what other people are doing. Let's be like them, and let's do what's cool right now. But the reality is that it's easier to do the next cool thing if you don't do what culture is doing right now. So it has to be about a belief and a willingness to understand that culture wants to change and that it does change all the time, and that it's our job to change culture to benefit our brands. I love the festival. I'm so excited to be here. It's such an important festival, and it's great to be in Istanbul, and it's great to meet all these folks. I mean, it was fun spending time with the students and seeing their passion for advertising, and that was a huge room, and to see all those people to want to come out and hear a little bit about my perspective on advertising was a real honor and a privilege to do that. So it's been great. You know, I'm not, that familiar with Turkish advertising. I've been, having a great time. I've just been here a day or so, looking around, and it seems like there's some real potential there to do great things. And I think a festival like this is the type of thing that really will inspire a community to push and maybe to be more brave in the advertising and marketing that it does. Wow, I think I would say some of the things that I said, well, you've got to be endlessly curious about the world. There are a lot of people studying advertising, but really you have to be a student of culture and a student of people and human behavior. I would encourage people to do that. I would encourage people to create the next world of advertising. Now is a great time to be getting into advertising because it's changing so much. I've seen it change so much over my time in the business, and it wants to keep changing, so push it. What is advertising? I would encourage people to think about some of the things I talked about in my speech, which is that really I think smart advertising is when brands take action and aren't just sort of speaking and making those sorts of commercials. I would encourage people to think that way, to think in terms of press releases, in terms of what is going to be the impact on culture of their idea and how will culture consume it. Those would be some of the things I would say, and have fun.